I hope I'm not too bright, sweaty. There's a heat wave in London, if you don't know, if we're watching this somewhere around the world or you're watching it months later, that is why I'm so warm. Hi guys, it's SJ, welcome back to Baby Name Monday. I hope you've had an amazing week. If you watched last week's video, you will remember I did the top 5 rock and roll baby names for boys, and this is going to be the girls list. The names on this list are incredible. These icons, these women have just changed history. They are badass, they're cool, they are musical, they're creative. There are so many reasons to choose the names on this list for your baby, or just to pop them on your favourite name list, talk about them with your friends, send them to pregnant friends, or just geek out on baby names like I do every single week. Not even naming a baby or a pet, I'm just gonna have some amazingly named houseplants at some point in my life. Thank you so much for being here every single week. If you're brand new, don't forget to hit subscribe for new baby name videos. Check out last week, and here we go with the list. One of my all-time favourites is Joni Mitchell. Rolling Stones called her one of the greatest songwriters ever, and I've got her albums and I absolutely love listening to them. It's like listening to poetry, isn't it? And the name Joni has got that real retro edge to it. I've started to hear it being used. I've got one friend who has a baby Joni, and it just feels very like American-y to me. Does it feel American to you? Joni Mitchell's actually Canadian. I think that I get that from the Happy Days, because remember Joni Cunningham, Joni and Chochi, and then they had their own little spin-off. I absolutely loved the Happy Days when I was younger. Must have watched all of them like a million times, so probably that's where I get a really strong association with this name as well. But it's the female version of John and means God is gracious. So if you have a John, or dad's John, or your granddad, it's a nice way of bringing the family name in, but like modernising it a little bit. And it's just a great name. I think it's quite a quirky choice still. I think you still get loads of compliments if you called your daughter Joni. So the next name that I love on this list is the name Dusty. I've definitely mentioned this in a video before, because Adam Levine is it. He has a daughter called Dusty Rose, and I absolutely love it. But Dusty Springfield again is somebody I absolutely love. We had I Only Want to Be With You sung really slowly at our wedding, and it's just one of our all-time favourite songs before and after that. Actually, Son of a Preacher Man is my karaoke song. If you ever get me on the karaoke. But Dusty Springfield is a legend. Of course, she's English, which is really interesting. I don't know why I'd never really thought where she was from, but I assumed she was American because she's in the US Hall of Rock and Roll Fame, also the British one as well. But yeah, she's a British girl, and she was just so iconic. She had that heavy makeup, those ball gowns, the peroxide blonde hair. She's just such an icon of the time. And the name Dusty is amazing. Her real name is Mary Isabel Catherine, so she wasn't born Dusty, but it was her genuine nickname. So apparently she was just a real tomboy. She was always out with the boys, always getting really mucky with her brothers, and so her genuine nickname was Dusty, and I love that for a girl. It's a very Western cowboy boy name as well. I also love the Three Amigos, so this is like the perfect name for me. Imagine if Evelina was Evelina Dusty. It's actually really cute. She's Evelina Blossom Dusty. I don't know, Blossom and Dusty together. Dusty Blossoms. Doesn't sound right. There were only 4 boys named Dusty when they did the list last time, and 3 girls, so it's very gender neutral. Do you prefer it for a boy or a girl? This next name is at number 804, so it's being used for girls, and it's the name Stevie after Stevie Nicks. I love this name so much. I think definitely put it on my list. It is so cool. She's actually Stephanie originally, and Stevie is a nickname for Stephanie, the same way that Steve is a nickname for Stephen. Stephanie's a female form of Stephen, so that wasn't really that deep trivia, but you know what I mean. She's a legendary American singer. She was singer for Fleetwood Mac for a very long time and did her own solo stuff. She's just a very, very cool person, and just a very cool namesake for anybody. Most people would know that of Stevie Nicks, so they would be like, oh, you've named her after Stevie Nicks. But also just with names like Frankie and stuff like that being so popular, Stevie's a little bit more unusual. Names like Evie are so popular. How about going with Stevie? She became nicknamed Stevie because apparently when she was little she couldn't say her own name Stephanie, and she used to call herself TD, and it became her family nickname as well, so it's quite nice to know that. Another name which is very iconic is the name Joplin, after Janis Joplin. I love the name Joplin, I just love the sound of it. It almost sounds like a nature name, doesn't it? But it actually has quite a sad meaning because it means afflicted. So, and obviously Janis Joplin she died very young at around 27 of a heroin overdose, but not before being so well renowned and so well loved as a singer-songwriter. Just had lots of fame very young, and toured and was very well renowned, but just sadly had that addiction, so we lost her too early. But she's very iconic, and I just really love the sound of the name Joplin. It's a lot like Juniper, which is one of my very favourite names. It's got that surname kind of sound, but with the Lynn ending, it sounds very wearable as a first name. And I think it reminds me of other names like Marlowe that are coming back into fashion, Monroe, like people are after Marilyn Monroe, and Joplin just seems like a really easy to use name. It is not ranking at all. Do you think it's too out there? Do you think the meaning would put you off when you're knowing like her story as well, or does it just make you love it even more that it's so well associated with her? And lastly, how about the name Jett? This is very gender neutral. I've put it on my girls list because I'm thinking of Joan Jett, who was just the most iconic rock and roller, isn't she? Like so edgy, so cool, very like iconic as a rock and roller with her black t-shirts and everything like that. So the real epitome of kind of punk rock and roll, I guess. And a very strong and fierce woman. She's a producer, singer, songwriter, does everything, and just a very proud activist as well. So that's a really nice kind of cool person to name a child after. But her real name is Joan Marnie Larkin. I like Larkin and Marnie as well. But yeah, and then when she became famous, she took her mother's maiden name, Jett. So it was a real name, not kind of just totally made up, which I was surprised about. I thought it was just kind of chosen because of the alliteration with her name. It's at number 554 for boys, but it's not really being used for girls. So can you see a little girl called Jett? I think it would be really sweet. I think it is very rock and roll, very edgy for a girl, but really wearable as well. So those are my top 5 girl and top 5 boy rock and roll baby names. I hope you like it. So yeah, those are my top ones. Let me know in the comments below which ones I missed out that you love. Let me know which is your favourite from this list. It was so fun just to chat about all those gorgeous girl names and amazing women with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe for next week's video, and there's tons more on my channel Wednesday, Fridays as well. So stick around and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.